Physical gaming is dead. Xbox released one of the most beautiful controllers I've ever seen, and PlayStation released another PS4 game, but this time on PS5 Pro. Welcome back to 128KB News. This is your quick bit of gaming news where we catch up on the world of gaming this week in this short news-like video. And yes, I've said it enough times that this is now officially our catchphrase. Hurrah. But what a week in gaming it's been, a huge amount to catch up on. We've had the state of play from PlayStation. We of course forgot a new Zelda game dropping this week, and the Tokyo Game Show is happening. And I've timed this video so well that it's going out probably about an hour after Xbox do their big developer direct, meaning that it's not in this video. So when this finishes, I'm off to go and cry in the corner and think about how bad at YouTube I actually am. And let's jump into the first story this week, and that is that physical gaming is officially dead in the UK. Bring the flags down, it has happened. We've had the reports on the game sales from August, and 75% of the games sold in the UK in August were digital sales. That is mind-blowing. Of the full 1.74 million games sold in the UK in August, only 25% of them were physical. This is surely a sign of the times. It's up by 10% from this time last year, and primarily it's because there's really no options in the UK on where you're going to buy your physical games. We only have game stores as a high street presence, and let's face it, that's a bit rubbish unless you like trainers, t-shirts and the odd Fortnite figurine. Game is not the place to pick up your games, and officially physical games are dead in the UK. And from one dead dodo to the next, let's talk about the PS5 Pro. Well, specifically Sony's announcements of the 30th anniversary versions of the PS5. And I hate to say, but I really love this. I don't want to like it, but I really do. I'm a sucker for things that are shiny and new and a little bit nostalgic, and they've really pulled on my heartstrings this time and released, I think, some really beautiful things. It's getting some really mixed reactions online. Some people really think it's ugly. Some people really love the nostalgia look to it. But the 30th anniversary editions of the PS5 are here, and there's a whole bunch of PS5 related products that they're launching in this 30th anniversary edition. We have the digital PS5, the DualSense controller, the DualSense Edge, the Portal, and of course the limited edition PS5 Pro, which is limited to 12,300 units. They're also doing bundles of this all together. In the UK, at least, it's limited to being sold only on the PlayStation website, and I believe only for active PlayStation members as well. So getting your hands on this is going to be really hard. I can see the scalpers there rubbing their hands together. No word yet on price, but I think by the time this video goes out, they may have indeed announced the price and allowed pre-orders to happen, because it is happening on Thursday the 26th, which is tomorrow for me now. It is today for you in some kind of weird time-traveling way. Who knows what the price is going to be? I'm sure it's going to be overpriced, and I'm sure scalpers are going to get their hands on this, and those limited edition PS5 Pros are going to be ridiculous. But still, I hate myself, but I can't help but want one. And talking of wanting useless, shiny things, Xbox go and release the most beautiful controller I think I've ever seen. We've seen the new colorways for the Elite controllers hitting the store for Xbox, and they are beautiful. I think they're called, that's it, the Cypher Edition. We've got this kind of slightly transparent look and a color to the plastic as well. Oh my days, they are a thing of beauty. I can't help but want one. I don't know why I want one, maybe just because it's shiny and new and it kind of looks cool. I probably wouldn't even use it. I know what I'm like. I'll buy it, it'll stick on a shelf, and I'll look at it for ages and go, yeah, that's nice. And then I've wasted like 150 quid. Go me. But what do you think of the new Xbox Elite controller, the Cypher Edition? I'd love to know if you like it down in the comments below. Do let me know. But I'm going to move this along even quicker to the world of Palworld. And that is that Pokemon are gunning for Pokemon with guns. The Palworld developer Pocket Pair have announced that they have been hit with a patent infringement by Nintendo. Yes, we've been waiting for this for a long time, and I honestly thought as soon as Palworld came out and we were all looking at it going, that's Pokemon with guns, the Nintendo were going to issue a copyright infringement almost straight away. But it's been a fair while now, and the game is announced for PlayStation release as well, so it's been a long time out, and it's been a long time coming that something is going to come from Nintendo. And I think the real surprise about this story happening is that it wasn't a copyright infringement. They've issued a patent infringement. I'm not obviously a lawyer, so I don't know the ins and outs, but that would suggest to me that it's not about necessarily the design and the aesthetics of the game, but about something technical behind the scenes about how the game works that they may have infringed. It's an odd one, and we don't really have much detail beyond Nintendo's announcements and then Pocket Pair's announcement saying that they are indeed being sued by Nintendo. They've pushed ahead anyway and announced the release of Palworld on PS5. It is now out after the state of play. Although, interestingly, the release of Palworld was actually delayed in Japan. It was announced today that it's available in all territories apart from Japan. Now, you can't help but wonder if that has anything to do with this patent infringement from Nintendo. And before we jump into the main story of the day, I want to talk about a kind of reaction to the main story first of all, and that is Xbox doing what they do best. No, not making games or consoles that sell well. No, it's trolling PlayStation. In the immediate aftermath of the state of play from PlayStation, Xbox just put out a cheeky little tweet highlighting all the games that were announced in the state of play by PlayStation that were also available to play on Xbox. It was a funny little quip by them. They are just literally tweeting out saying, if you look closely, you'll notice that these games are coming to Xbox, which is obviously just Xbox just trying to troll the PlayStation situation even further, the lack of exclusives. But let's be honest, they are both a little bit guilty of it. But anyway, let's move on to the big story that happened this week, and that is, of course, the PlayStation State of Play. And let's be honest, the PlayStation State of Play was a bit of a mixed bag, a roller coaster of Fortnite characters, remasters, and then possibly the best PlayStation game that's coming out in 2025. We're going to see the Astrobot DLC with some speedrunning levels coming at the end of this year. As predicted, Horizon Zero Dawn does get its PS5 remaster. That's the third edition of Horizon Zero Dawn we're seeing. In fairness to them, it is just a $10 upgrade if you already own the game. And the remaster is being done by Nixies for the PC port as well. Anything they touch seems to be a really good job. They're a really good Sony studio. The PC ports have been fantastic. So fingers crossed they do it well at least. But yes, it is a PS4 game coming out on PS5 and PS5 Pro. We saw the Alan Wake 2 DLC, The Lake House, which of course is a cross-platform release, and the PS5 Chroma editions. These might be the most disgusting things I've ever seen. I cannot stand the look of them. The Chroma colorway PS5s and PS5 controllers, they're kind of metallic, hence Chroma, and coloured. It's like straight out of the 1980s. It's pretty vile. I'm not sure that I'm going to be rushing out to pick up any of those. There was a really interesting third-person action-adventure game that I hadn't heard of before, which is Hell Is Us. That could be quite promising from the early gameplay footage we've seen. Of course, what we talked about earlier, the Palworld PS5 launch is there right in time for Nintendo to strap them with an even tighter infringement case. Stellar Blade is getting that Nier Automata crossover, the DLC which is coming, which should be really ace, and the most heavily anticipated and what will be the most abused feature in gaming history is, of course, the Stellar Blade photo mode. We all know what's going to happen with that, don't we? We don't need to talk about it, do we? We just need to go on Twitter and look at the photos. The Midnight Walk, which is a game that actually looks really cool. It's a horror kind of adventure game with a claymation art style. This, honestly, I hadn't seen it before. It honestly looks really quite cool. It's definitely a game that's going to be worth playing. It was probably the unexpected highlight of the entire show. But of course, the absolute highlight, bar none, is the sequel to Ghosts of Satsuma. Yes, that's right, strike that bingo card, in what's being called The Ghosts of Yutai. This is a kind of sequel to Ghosts of Tsushima, Ghosts of Satsuma, although it's not a like-for-like in the story. It's set in the same world, the same universe, but you are playing with an entirely different character in a different storyline, which is an interesting approach that they've done to this. Obviously, Ghost of Tsushima, one of the best games to come out in recent years, definitely the best PlayStation game. We've now seen the PC ports of it well, and it runs amazingly on PC. On PS5 Pro, I'm sure it's going to be beautiful as well. But this game coming next year, the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima, looks absolutely incredible. We've all been waiting for it, and now we know it's coming, and we've had our first glimpses of it, and wow, I cannot wait. And if all of that wasn't enough for you and you still need a little bit of cheering up, I want to finish this up with a final thought, a final news story that happened today that just made me laugh a little bit. Just think, if you're days going really bad. Remember that Sony spent 8 years developing a game that cost $400 million, it's been reported, to sell 25,000 units, and for that game to be shut down in less than 10 days and deleted from history. That is, of course, what happened with Concord. We now have the reports that it cost $400 million. That has to be the greatest story of the week. Anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. What were your highlights of the state of play? And if you are in the future, do let me know what the best bits of the Xbox thing was. And I'm off to cry in the corner that I've missed that. And I'm going to have to make a whole other video just about that because, yes, I win at YouTube. Whilst you're down there in the comments digging around, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and before you go anywhere else, why not watch another video from us here at 128KB? We're a lovely bunch and we love you being here. Maybe this one where me and Andy talk about all things gaming. It's good, I promise. So until the next time, I'll see you next time. Is it recording? Well, you don't know. I guess so.